welcome to Zero Bad Ideas. I just tried to explain this a second ago, but the video wasn't going too well, so I'm going to restart. So I put out a video that explains most of what this project is, but I made some significant changes, and I'm virtually done. There's a very small thing I have to do that I think I've already worked out the how. I just got to do it. So, cat. Trying to record a video. He will keep doing that. Anyway, I've added the advanced sessions plugin, which is a plugin that is available online so that both players can open these options here, and either one can set their own name, which will show up in the scoreboard and on the screen, even though that's temporary. You can also make a game ID. It can literally be anything as long as it matches, and then either player can host. So this one will host. Nothing has changed because they are hosting their session. Whereas over here, this player clicks join, and it will refresh when it finds the session and they match. So these two players are now linked through the internet, not just on my computer. You'll see that the start menu or start button there is enabled on both because now they are part of a session. This one didn't just like refresh, it's actually reinitialized because it's joined the other session as a new like entity, which confused me for the longest time. I did not know it did that. So as usual, I can change things here. I can go to monsters, I can make changes. Technically, right now, either player can make changes. Whoever hits start first sets it in stone. So I'm going to have to modify that so only the host can do it, which I think I can use the is server node for that. Anyway, I click start here. I don't love that begin turn shows up immediately. But what we do have here is an error I forgot to fix between the last recording and this one. So I've added dukes. There's 11 dukes in the game. They give you something to aim for at the end of the game. So like, for example, Warren here gives you 1 point per worker and 2 points per shadow citizen, and then 1 point for every 3 resources. And this guy gets something different, and there's 11 of them. The reason this is an error is that they both got Elysium, and that is because to get a duke, each player finds themselves in the player list, whatever rank they are. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, however many players there are, and it finds that number in the duke list, adds 1 to it, and gets that duke as well. And the problem here is that gives this player the 0 duke and the 1 duke, and then this player gets the 1 duke and the 2 duke because he's player 1, he's player 0. What I need to do is add either 4 or 5. So we get the 0 and 5 and the 1 and 6. There's no overlap. Anyway, it's a minor thing. I just got to fix the one number somewhere. So the point of the dukes, they can each pick one, and then in the scoreboard you can see your own duke show up here, so you can be reminded of what it does for you throughout the game. While we have this open, you also see that the player names are displayed in the scoreboard. They're also displayed in the top corner, which is temporary. And then I also solved, which I think was in the other video, the fact that only this player could ever be the active player unless the other player started first. But then they would have 1 turn, and then it would pass to the other player, and then the big window here, it would only ever be their turn. And the reason for that was that at the end of when you click the end turn or pass turn button, the first thing it does is tell every player to pass, it's a new phase, and to pass the turn, or the turn has been passed. Sorry, it tells everyone to go to the next phase. Then the active player becomes inactive. In theory, the next active player is told they're the active player. They become active. However, the very next thing they do is execute the next phase action, which means they're still in the end turn phase, and they are the active player, which means they pass their turn. And the reason it doesn't just go in an infinite loop is that it happens in turn order, basically. No matter whose turn it is, it starts with the 0 player in the array of players. The 0 player does it. and if they're not the active player, then nothing happens. And then it goes next player, they're the active player, then they pass their turn. If the 0 player is the active player, they pass their turn, become inactive. The next player is now active, passes the turn back to the 0 player who is not active, or is not active yet and has already taken their turn, so nothing happens. So they just loop forever. Anyway, that's fixed. So you have to roll to the harvest phase. To leave the action phase, you have to spend 2 actions. Like pass turn. There you go. Additionally, I currently have, both players have one of each citizen. So currently I can do this. I can go add 2 strength and 1 magic. So I'll go 2 and 2. 2 and 2. And over here you get this side, so I can convert 1 magic into 3 strength. And this number here is limited by how many citizens I have, so how many priestesses I have. So right now I can only do no trades or 1 trade. If I had 2 priestesses, I click this again and do 2 into 6. So whatever, I accept that trade. Now I have none of that, but I have 3 of that. It's hard to see when there's an overlay up, but when you gain a resource, there's actually a little glowing, little sort of shadow over top of the resource you got, just for visual feedback. I have a testing button here to give myself 50 of all resources, so I can do things like kill a skeleton and a tree. So when I pass my turn and go to this character, we skip past the roll phase, go to the action phase. Down here, I don't have all the domains working, these are for testing. So I can build, if I have resources for it, I can build Purloiner's Perch to steal a monster. So over here we can clearly see that this player has 2 monsters. And I'll just move that so you can see both monsters there. If I build this, it shows me this kind of, very ugly overlay that says, I have no monsters, Brandon has 2 monsters. This button should be disabled or invisible. The reason it's not is its visibility is based on the player name, except it's actually based on player reference, I think, like the reference to this player's character. So technically I could click this, I can steal for myself. Oh, actually no, I can't. Purely by not by design, but by how it functions, I can't click this button and do anything because I have no monsters to steal, so nothing will happen ever. It doesn't check to see if I have any monsters. It just, for some reason, I don't remember what part of it, this doesn't go away until a monster is stolen. So I can click this, boom, I stole his skeleton. You can see now I've got, nope, I stole his treant. Well, that's a fun bug. I don't know why I did that. Well, I will have to investigate that. But you can see that I did steal a monster. I can also build this thing, so at the end of my action phase I can steal a magic. So now when I hit pass turn, it's not just going to pass turn immediately. It's first going to see if I have any end action effects. There's only 2. That was one I bought, and then the Cathedral of St. Nicola is the other one. So this here is a widget that technically has 2 things in it, and they're only visible if you own it. Otherwise it's collapsed, so it doesn't take up space, so it stays centered. So I can either cancel, and I lose my ability to steal this turn, or I can click steal. It opens this again. I can see Brandon has 51 magic. You can see up here, 51. So I can steal 1 magic from him. Now I have 51, and he's 50. So stealing works. Everything works. If the thief gets rolled, I can show you that the thief works. Oh, you know what? We're not playing with thief, we're playing with rogue. Whatever. The thief does work. It uses the same principle as the domain stealing. And then I believe, it would take too long to test it here, but I believe it does work that if I buy out all the 2 times the number of players, citizens, or all the monsters, or all the domains, the game ends. And it just shows you the scoreboard. The only thing it doesn't do is add up the points for the Duke. But they're very straightforward. I think I can do that pretty easily. I would also like it if at the end of the game you could mouse over someone's name and have like a little pop-up of like what Duke they had. Right now the score row contains, oh, does it? No, it doesn't yet. It will contain what Duke everyone has. So the whole game, everyone will have in their client what Duke other players have. But it won't matter until the end of the game when something triggers it to say, now you can see it when you mouse over it. I'm not really sure how to make that happen, other than maybe if I make this into a button, or I put a button somewhere in here that when I click it, it changes this picture to that player's Duke, so you can see it, but that only comes up at the end of the game. That might be helpful. That might be what I would do. I'll put a little sign here with like a, there must be an icon in the rulebook for a Duke card. I'll put it at the end and then you click that and it'll change what picture shows up here. That seems doable. Yeah, I think I can do that. There's also a frame to go around this. I don't know if I mentioned in this video, the previous one, that I wanted it to be face down when you mouse over it, or when you're not moused over it, and when you mouse over it, it shows the card. But it doesn't work the way I would like it to, so now it's going to have this little frame here, which, whatever, it sort of matches the scoreboard and this thing with the angles and the color. This color I set in Unreal Engine, and this color I made in Illustrator, and they're pretty close for just tweaking a slider. I didn't go back and check in Illustrator what color it was. I guess I could have. Instead, I tweaked it for like, I don't know, a minute to try and find the right purple. But yeah. So it's basically done. Just Dukes. The only I gotta make sure that buying all the domains works. I should make this button give me 50 actions too. But all the citizens work, all the domains work, all the monsters function except one, which is right here. I'll show you why it's broken. Oh, roll, action phase. Kill this treant. Oops. Kill this spider. Don't care about that. Okay. Kill the Bane Spider. Okay. This is Spider Queen. All of the monsters, all the domains, all the citizens have a simple choice. Like this here. You get either this, or sorry, you get this if you're the active player, you get this if you're not the active player. Cat is getting into something. But they fall into very simple categories. So the way this works is you're technically, this rogue on this side has two rewards, basically. One is two might, one is 2 gold. And then for non-active players, they have 2 different rewards, which is 1 might and 1 gold. So this character, this citizen, has two arrays on it, so lists of rewards. One a list of 2, over here a list of 2, whereas the blacksmith here has a list of 1 and 1. This is just, it looks more complicated, but it's just 1 per soldier citizen. Here's a good example. The miner has a list of 2 on this side, because you always get 1, and then you get 1 per domain. On this side, it's only a list of 1, because it's only ever 4. Anyway, the point of that is all of them are very simple. It's either this thing or this thing. Even a trade is only a list of 2, but the category it falls under is trade, so it knows that the first thing is what you're giving up, and the second thing is what you're getting, as opposed to getting both things. So the reason that I say that, I want to make that clear, is this thing here is one thing on this side, but 2 different things on this side. Because, wait, is it? I don't think it is. This would be a list of 1 thing, the same as every other boss is points per thing. The other, oh shoot, you know what I was thinking? Since day 1, looking at this Spider Queen, thinking, how would I do this? unless I'm thinking of the wrong boss, I was thinking this was a choice. Either this or this, which I could not account for. Because my choice is either this, this or this kind of thing. Okay, I've been thinking about this for like 10 minutes while I've been away. I am right, this is the complicated monster. Because what I was seeing as the dividing line here, I was seeing it as this dividing line, as if the active player would get this and the inactive player would get this. Not the case. So the reason this is too complicated is because this has 3 elements: a points per monster area, a free citizen, and a victory point. But you have to choose between this side and this side. So what I don't have in place is a way to say you want to trade, you want to choose either A or B and C. I have a thing that says you want to trade choose A or B. So I don't know if I'd put it in a blueprint, but I sort of laid out how this could work. It would have its own function called the Spider Queen function. It would be sort of preset to take in these 3 variables. It wouldn't even take in the variables because they don't change. The Spider Queen would always do this, so it really would just have its own special choice box to choose between the 2. You choose one, and it would do the normal thing, as if it was a 1-item list or a 2-item list. So yeah. You okay? My cat has asthma, as viewers may recall. But yeah, so everything works. Except the dukes get duplicated, and when I stole a monster, I stole the wrong monster, which I still don't know the reason for. Yeah, because I stole the tree by accident. Oh my goodness. Sir. Okay. So yeah, all monsters work except Spider Queen, who tentatively works. All the domains work, including the stealing ones, the end of turn ones. The end of turn ones were the biggest obstacle for me. So I'm glad that I figured that out. If you want to see what it looks like when you have both of the why is this? That's weird. Yeah, I know it's an error. If I just want to make a basically single player game, I can just do that. I don't need anyone to join. Pick that guy. Roll. Get the free button. Down to domains. Sorry. And I can build this. And I can build this. So there's no one to steal from, but as you can see here, they're both visible. Neither one's collapsed, so they show themselves. Okay, sorry, I was saying, I don't think I can test stealing. I guess I could cancel stealing, but I thought this might be a good opportunity to see if I can actually join a game in progress. I don't see why I couldn't. The only thing that would change would be the player list wouldn't update. Yeah. Oh, right, because I'm in there. So if I give this guy enough to steal, click on this thing. Right. So here's what's happening here. All it does show that when you use one, it stops taking up space and the other one gets centered. If I cancel this one, it just closes. It knows when I close one of them, when I use one of them, it checks to see if the other one's already collapsed, and if it is, it closes the whole thing. So this is what I thought the problem was. When you hit start, you only get the player list right then. At no other time is the player list modified. So this player hosted a session, hit start, and I got the player list of one player. When this player joined, while they are in the same domain or same session, there's clearly issues. I don't know if I bought... So passing turn, yeah, is broken because it wants to pass back to itself and it can't, I think. Okay, sorry, I didn't deal with my cat again. I have no idea what I was saying. I know, so the reason this player is broken, and I don't know if I could have bought this guy, I don't know if it would have been reflected on here. I think, no, it wouldn't have. Actually, it might. No, I guess it would because, like this knows those cards missing. You know what? Let's do a quick test. Yep, I know those errors. If we make a game, I host it, I start it, then I come over here and I join it. Take this guy, and you start. So now, yeah, so I don't know why it's blank. It's actually kind of weird. But technically, they're in the same session, I think. You can see on player one over here, this guy does not have a name because his client didn't actually run the process of getting a name, or he doesn't appear in the player list. Yes, that's what it is. So this player gets the list from the player list from the server, which gets made when this player hits start. Because he's not in it, he doesn't get a name. But if I change phase, and I do this thing, and I go over here, and I go to the action phase, and I buy a rogue, it says there's 4 rogues. Because every time you do something, it gets all players again. It doesn't use the player list, which I guess it could. There's no reason it couldn't. It already has all the players, but instead I cast all the players. I still have 4. Still do a 4 each. I get all players for each player. It saves 1 step. Maybe it's more efficient. I don't know. It actually probably is because I already have it stored. I'm not casting out to other actors. Anyway, whatever. I'll probably change that. But yeah, whatever I rambled for. 24 minutes almost? Yeah. So yeah, this is like as close to done as I could have imagined it's going to get. And the fact that I can finish it and will finish it really pleases me. Oh, it says I have 2 thieves now, or 2 rogues. This is wrong. That's just a placeholder. Technically, I only have 1 shadow, or technically one for each, except for the peasant and the knight. Yeah. So yeah, this is Valeria Card Kingdoms, a game I did not make, but a project I was inspired to make. So hopefully this is done soon. I'll have a new video showing, hey, it's done. I'm done working on it. I might add a couple things. Expansions, maybe. I'm not really sure. One of the expansions adds a card that really complicates things. Yeah, it's a 7/8 that replaces one of the exhausted stacks. So when you run out of rogues, you might get the King's Guard, which is a 7/8. But then it's like, if you roll a 7 or an 8, how do you know it's a Kingsguard and not a Rogue or a Champion? When there's only 3 cards that can be rolled, suddenly there's 4 cards that can be rolled. Yeah. I don't know how I would store that I own a Kingsguard to know that I rolled it, because the way I store things is an array from 0 to 9, where each index is one of the characters. So 6 is a 7, and 7 is an 8. So a Kingsguard would have to be both a 6 and a 7 in an array that's already full of other things. It'd have to be a whole other thing. And the other thing I would change, or add rather, is in the game mode here, I have set up, what do you call them? No, not there. Presets. So the game in the rulebook has, like, you can set up however you want, or you can use custom configurations of cards. So I've got 2 set up currently, Glittering Gold and Mastery over Magic. And I've got, I have to close this thing. I've got a function for the monsters. I've got a function for the citizens, because there's specific citizens you use. And I've got one for domains, which is different because all you do is remove certain domains. In this case, you remove these 4 domains from the total list of 25. Then you get your 15 random ones. And this one, you remove these 4 domains, then you shuffle them, you get 15 of them. So nothing runs this yet, but I do have it here that if at some point this variable called chosen step is set to either Glittering Gold or Master over Magic, it will instead go up here, make those decks, then come down here, shuffle the domains, and configure all these decks. So when the management actor gets the initial things, it'll get these pre-configured sets of cards. I don't know where to implement this. I thought about putting it in options, but realistically, I don't know where. I would love it if there was like a box here with the different options, and if I clicked on it, it would update these, and I don't know why I thought clicking on that would open up the other panel. Oh, there's. Oh, maybe it would like it would select the right ones, and so you'd see like exactly what it is. Because without that, you're basically blindly choosing one of these presets without knowing what it's going to do for you. So if I can't tell it to modify things, I'm not sure how I would do it. I don't want to add another screen that just has text on it that says, here's what things are in it. But yeah, so I'm thinking about that. Also, I mean, it has been another, 5 minutes of me talking about things that don't exist yet in a game that, as I said, I'm supposed to be thinking is almost done. So I'm going to stop now. I might change some things. Well, I'll definitely change things that are broken. Might add some things, and then hopefully before too long, I'll have a video that says, hey, this is done. You can't buy it from me. You can't get it anywhere, but it exists, and it pleases me. So thanks for watching. Not sure what my throat's doing right now, and we'll see you next time.